We'll be back tomorrow. Casting off for lines right now, we have Jason Perkins. He's going to hop on board here shortly. Standing to my left, we have Robert. He's going to help me demonstrate the safety equipment that we have on board this vessel. In the helm, let's give her a nice big round of applause for our captain, Captain Melinda. Last but not least, myself, my name is Ali. I'll be your guys' Hawaiian style narrator, your ring commentator. So welcome aboard. Yay for me, yeah. Alright, so as we make our way out to the submarine, we're going to cover some safety equipment on board. First things first, underneath your seats are Coast Guard style life jackets. If you see me put mine on, that's your cue to grab yours and follow suit. If you do need it, you guys are going to spread the yoke apart, head goes right to the hole. The black strap wraps around your body. Bring it around to the D-ring in the very front. Pull on the loose, flag it tighten. Cross your arms, cross your fingers, say a little prayer, and into the water you go. Alright? If you make it too short before our captain, drinks are on her. Okay? Okay. Now moving on to the inside of the submarine. When you're sitting inside of our submarine, just beneath the viewport, there is a wet compartment. In the event of an emergency, the compartment opens up. First item you'll find is the airline style life jacket. You guys may have seen this before, good for the residents. Just like on all the airplanes, okay? Same thing, head goes right to the hole. The white straps will fall behind your back. Bring one strap to the right, one to the left. You'll get up to the D-ring in the very front. For the kids that we have on board today, the white straps fall behind their back. Then you're going to go up between their legs and then flip it up to the D-ring. You guys are going to then pull on the yellow tabs to make sure they're nice and tight, secure to your body, and stop right there. Once you're outside of our submarine, once you're outside, go ahead, pull on the red tab. That will inflate your vest. And if you want more air into the red jacket, there is red medical trust on your shoulders. Now, once the hatches are closed, air stays in, but water stays out. If the air quality becomes compromised with smoke or fumes, okay, you're gonna pull out this orange pouch called an AC-30 smoke hood. You're gonna go ahead and unzip it, pull out the shiny hood. There is a canister with a red string that has a red plug or a cap. Yank on that red string and unplug the canister, one on the outside, one on the inside. Go ahead, slip it over your head after that. When you're done, we have a picture of a gentleman, what you should look like when you're finished. Our last survivor. I'm just joking, guys. Just joking. He never made it. Alright. Now, we've never used any of the safety equipment, and we don't plastic. Very good. Moving on to things that we are going to be using. How we're going to get up to the submarine. This ramp over here, just direct your attention to this ramp. There's a black rubber flap, so a big step of avoiding that. If it does smash your toes, we're going to have to call the emergency toe drop. Alright, hold with those. The jokes are going to get worse if you really do that, I promise. Alright, I will get there on pressure. Alright, when you guys are past that rack, hang on to the railings of our submarine. You'll be escorted to a hatch that still goes down inside. Once you get to the hatch, turn around. Once you're at the bottom of the ladder, you'll be sitting to the right or all the way down to the last bit of the seat. For the kids that are on board today, we're going to have our adult go first and head of the child down the ladder. So you're going to go first and the adult, and then the child's going to follow through the last bit. Okay? That's pretty much it. Any questions? Anyone's first time in our submarine today? Alright, everybody, wow. Right on with us. That you're on here with us. We're going to make it really fun for yourself. Up on the deck of our submarine, your pilot is inside of the sub, making sure everything's ready for our dive. What do we have over here? Oh, we have some dolphins over here on the starboard side.
Get pictures after it's over.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, everybody's now inside of our submarine. The next voice you guys are going to hear is our pilot talk with our surface crew as we begin the tour. You guys ready? Yeah! And that's not good enough. You guys ready? Yeah! Alright guys, here we go.
Alrighty there, surface. We're about ready to begin our dive. I'm calling to confirm hatches are secured, life support's up and operating, water valves has been set. We have less than 150 beneath us, trims amid. We are requesting permission to vent and dive. All vessels are away from your side. You are clear to vent, you are clear to dive. Roger, understand, surface. We're venting 3s and 4. Here comes 2s and 5s. 5. Venting 1s and 6s. That's going to be all vents. We're going to dive, dive, dive.
1, 6 is open. You've got all vents. 1, 1, 4, 3.
4, 3, right?
Derek to lock. Shoot your positive.
Arms activating. Vertical thrusters. Here we go. Roger those 2. Roger those rails, sir. We're switching now. Thank you, service. Talk to you later.
Alright folks, so there we go. We're now slipping just under the water right now. If you guys look up here towards me, towards the front of the submarine, I'm going to go ahead and stand up. I'm going to wave to everyone. Everybody that's on this side of the submarine, you guys are sitting on the port side. Can you guys say port? Alright, right here next to me on the forward bulkhead, we have a digital depth gauge. It's about 30 feet right now. It's going to be increasing as we get deeper and deeper. Everyone here on the other side of the submarine. Alright, you guys are on the starboard side. Can you guys say starboard? Starboard! Very good. Now, all the way towards your right, there is another depth gauge. So you guys can utilize whichever one is closer towards you, either towards the front or towards the back. Alright. Also back there, we also have Robert. Alright, he's kind of our backseat driver. He's our co-pilot on this dive. Alright, throughout the tour, you might hear him talking to himself, but he is not. He's talking to our pilot up in our headsets. And he's making sure we don't get lost down here, alright? So right now we're at 53 feet. You guys can lean forward, look out and down. You guys see the ocean floor coming into view. Might have to pick out a few fish as well. I will be describing as many fish as I see out there. Okay. Before I talk about anything that's outside of our submarine, let's talk about things that are inside of our submarine. So let's start off from the bottom. About knee level, life jacket. Please refrain take anything off of there that is heavy, big, or bulky, as we need those compartments to automatically open up if there's an emergency. In front of you are your viewports. Okay, just above each viewport, there's a little AC vent. You guys can adjust the airflow towards you or away from you. All right, make yourself feel comfortable. Over your heads, you guys can see that we have these red zeros with 4 red dots on each little unit. Those are for a multi-language guest that we have on board every once in a while. So if you haven't been issued a headset, all right, you're good to go. You don't need to worry about those. Just above each of those zeros, there should be a white folded up bag. You might have recognized them before. Those are the barf bags. Now, since we're here in Hawaii, we don't call them barf bags. We call them aloha bags. If you want to say hello, aloha to your last meal or mai tai, say it into the bag. If you put anything inside of that bag, guess what? It's yours. Take it with you. Our compliments. Yeah. All right. Now we're gonna listen into our pilot. Right now we have switched over from a VHF comms, which is our surface comms, down to a underwater telephone. All right, so let's listen in.
Service Atlantis number 10, comms check, underwater telephone device. Well, that's good there, surface. We got you live and clear as well. Positive buoyancy has been achieved. Our vents are secure, and we're on the fish. We'll talk to you later, sir.
Alright. Alright guys, so our pilot just informed me that we're coming up to a big school of fish. So keep an eye on out there. Starboard side, I'm starting to see them right now. They have a yellow triangular shaped tail, 4 or 5 blue bars running the length of their bodies. Now these are the blue striped snappers. Yeah, it's a pretty big school. It's probably the public school, I think. Yeah. Now throughout this tour, don't just look down. Sometimes look straight ahead as far as you can, off into the distance, and also up towards the surface. Like we saw earlier back on our surface vessel, we did see the bottlenose dolphins. So keep an eye on out there, but you have to look up every once in a while. They might be playing up above our submarine in the bubbles. Now the blue striped snappers. These snappers were brought here from Tahiti for an inshore food source. They are a very good eating fish. If you guys can, try and repeat after me. Everyone say ono. Ono. Very good. Ono means tasty or delicious in the Hawaiian language, and those fish are really good eating. Very ono. Now these fish, oh wow, what is that? You guys see that larger fish right out there?
Yeah.
All I saw was a tail. Did you get a good look at it? What did it look like?
It was like a big fish. It was yellow. Dark.
It was a shark?
That was not a shark.
Have you ever seen a shark?
We do see sharks every once in a while. Not as much as we would like to. All right. I wish they were on our payroll so they can always show up. But you know, we're in the open ocean. It's you know, these fish are not trained to come towards our submarine. But yeah, go ahead and finish describing that fish to me. Big, kind of
Big, yellow, dark skin, black. The tail was like this, in a W shape.
Okay. So that's probably, did it have a yellow body or a yellow fin?
Yellow fin.
A yellow fin? That's probably a yellowfin surgeonfish. They sometimes swim right up to our viewports. A really good photo opportunity. So go ahead, take a photo next time it comes around. Oh, like this one up in front by our pilot?
Okay, that one right there.
Yeah, those are yellowfin surgeonfish.
Okay.
Port side, here they come. So keep an eye out for them. You might have to look around. They're pretty shy. They do come around every once in a while. So the yellowfin surgeonfish, they get their names surgeonfish because there is a bone at the base of their tail right before it forks off. And that bone is said to be sharper than a surgeon's scalpel. So if you were to go diving and kind of accidentally corner that fish into a section of the reef, that fish will get very nervous, and then at their last resort, those fish will charge you, and they'll rub their bodies up against yours, and that bone would poke out like a pair of switchblades, and it could cut right through a diver's wetsuit down to the bone. Very, very sharp, and hence their name, surgeonfish.
What about octopus?
Octopus, they are the hardest things to find out here. Now, they are the masters of disguise. They can change the texture of their body to be very rough or smooth, and also the color of their skin to look and blend in with the surrounding coral and reef. Now, port side, you guys can see those silver fish out there? There's about 3 or 4 of them. They have a black trim around their entire body. Now, those are called silver dollar damsels. The Hawaiian name, a very beautiful name, I think. Their Hawaiian name is called Alo Iloi. It means the bright one or the shiny one. These fish, during the daytime, that white covers majority of their body, but at night, to hide from predators, that white kind of slowly diminishes and shrinks down to about the size of your pinky nail, and that allows them to hide at night. Now the nickname for those silver dollar damsels is the Oreo cookie fish. They look like an opened up Oreo cookie. They definitely don't taste like them though. They taste a little fishy if you ask me. Okay. Now can you guys see all that little white stuff flying past your viewports? Looks like it's snowing down here. Does anybody know what that is? Plankton, yeah, very good. I get all kinds of answers sometimes, like belly button lint. Yeah, some people call this a nickname called marine snow. This could be little tiny animals such as baby crabs, shrimp, fish eggs, fish larvae that just can't swim yet. Could be little tiny jellyfish, all floating around.
Tell me what you saw.
I
Yeah,
saw
question?
a big bass.
A big bass?
A bass out here?
There's no bass out
It was
here.
black with white stripes.
It was big.
The front half was black, the
Yeah.
back half has white vertical stripes. Now, so that is a peacock grouper. Yeah, peacock grouper. Now those groupers are also brought here from Tahiti, and they have a Tahitian name called Roy, R-O-I, Roy. They were brought here to control the large numbers of another fish that was introduced here, which was that blue striped snappers that we saw earlier. The blue striped snappers, they populate very quickly, and they populate all the islands within like 10 years, and their numbers quickly grow. So they introduced that peacock grouper, the Roy, to control the large numbers of those groupers, but it was a bad idea because these groupers, they have a very ferocious appetite. They eat anything that they can fit in their mouths. So they don't have a specific diet or a specific fish that they eat anything. And since they do that, they devastate the endemic fish that are here. So it actually caused a few species of Hawaiian fish to go extinct by doing stingrays. We don't see stingrays too often.
Okay.
It's probably like once or twice a year.
Wow.
Yeah. We normally find eagle rays. Eagle rays are totally different from stingrays. Stingrays are described as a bottom feeder that is a circular shaped body. All right, and they swim by how would I describe it? Kind of like fluttering their edge of their wings or their body to swim around. Now eagle rays, they kind of fly like a big bird. They actually fly. They flap their wings, and they're actually a diamond-shaped body. Yeah, we see those eagle rays. They have a tail, but no big barb. All right, yeah, guys. Here, port side. Here's that large school of the blue striped snappers. Those are the ones that are really good eating. Now, if you guys go fishing and you catch those blue line snappers, you have to eat it within the first day. Since they're brought here from Tahiti, their shelf life is very short because of the water temperature change. The temperature here, our water is about 75 to 78 degrees. Back in Tahiti, where these fish come from, it's about 79 to about 81 degrees on average. So we are considered a subtropical climate, and these fish are tropical fish. So two things happen. One, they don't get very big because of the water temperature, and also their shelf life is very short. So they don't do very well in the restaurants and the grocery stores because of that shelf life. Now, does anybody know the reason why these fish stay in schools like this? I heard it, yeah, but go ahead.
So they so when they're apart, so they can know when they're endangered or not.
Yeah, when they're endangered or not, for protection. Yeah. So these fish rely on each other for protection. The more of them together, the more chances of one of them to spot a predator fish. If one of them spot that predator fish, they will alert the whole school. Another advantage that a school of fish have is that they can also conserve energy. Just like how in NASA behind really close to another car as they face the current. And our pilot's doing a really good job. He's gonna do what we call splitting the school. We're gonna try our best to put half on one side, half on the other side. So you guys might have to look straight down almost. Really nice close-up views of the blue striped snappers. Yeah, like I said, it's a pretty big school, guys. Probably the public school. The fish that you guys see by themselves out there, those are the homeschooled fish. And any schools of fish you see on the outskirts of the reef, those are the charter schools. Yeah. Now, looking at this reef, I know a lot of people get a little disappointed because the colors of our reef is not as colorful as you would have seen in pictures, television, and in magazines. Now, the colors of our reef here, they are very colorful, but since we're down here observing this reef with natural light and not artificial light, this sunlight penetrates down here, and as the deeper we go, the more colors change. The first color that changes is the color red. So if you take a look at your clothing, if you wore the color red, it is probably a purple or lavender color. Yeah. Now if you take a look at the finger coral out there, finger coral looks like a bunch of fingers pointing up to the surface or sunlight. It looks a little bit brownish in color down here, but in very shallow water, about a foot to about maybe 5 feet, is actually a crimson red. The lobe coral that looks like clumpy mashed potatoes up at the surface is actually a much brighter color, kind of like a faded tennis ball. Yeah. Now, how photographers get bright colors of our reef is that when they come down here, they'll dive normally early in the morning, just before the sun comes up, or in the late evening once the sun sets. And they'll come down with very powerful strobes, flashers, and lighting systems. And when they take a picture, that flash of light will go off, exposing the true color of the reef. We sometimes see larger fish. Majority of the reef fish are relatively small. They're relying on top of the reef for protection. So any like little tiny nooks and crannies and little crevices they can hide in. Yes, exactly. So whenever predators come around, these reef fish have a place to hide in. Now we do sometimes see larger fish such as bluefin trevallies, giant trevallies, amberjacks, also barracudas as well. But we don't see them all the time. They just come and go wherever they please. Yeah, we have a 25-acre dive site that we try to drive around, and these fish could just pop up at any time. So we have another school of fish out here. We got a pretty good sized one over here on the port side. Starboard side, keep an eye out for a silver or almost a ghost-like fish, almost translucent in color, cigar-shaped body. These are called goatfish. These goatfish have little whiskers or barbels under their chins. And it kind of represents a beard of the goat. Yes, you have a question?
Do you guys see turtles?
Turtles, not so much. The sea turtles, they like to bask in the sun. So they're feeding during the daytime. And to help digest their food, just like alligators and crocodiles, they have to bask in their sun to warm up their bodies to get energy to help them digest. So during the daytime, they'll go eat, and they'll come back on shore, and then they'll go ahead and beach themselves and rest. Sometimes if you're walking on our beaches, you might see a turtle and it looks like it's dead just because it's all dried out, but it is actually just sleeping and resting and helping the sun helping them, giving them energy to digest their food. Now the sea turtles that we have here is the Hawaiian green sea turtle. The reason why they call them green sea turtles is because all the algae that they eat. It actually, if you were to just so happen to find a sea turtle that has been dead and decomposing, it will actually, their meat is actually green because of all of their algae.
What's that? Flatfish?
What do you see?
Flatfish on the ground, is that a fish?
That slug-looking thing out there?
Yes.
That is a sea cucumber. Yeah, sea cucumber. Yeah, some people mistake them for eels, but anything that's just laying on the sand that looks just like that, that is a sea cucumber. So going back to that school of goatfish that we saw out there up on the port side, the Hawaiians give them two different names. What we saw was the juvenile goatfish. The Hawaiians give them the name Owama, O-A-M-A. When the Owama grow up, they'll have a black dot in the center of their bodies. Once they have the black dot, the Hawaiians give them a different name called Veke. Veke means ghost fish or nightmare fish. It has been said if you were to eat the head portion of that fish when they are adults, you could start to have minor hallucinations and then have very bad dreams. I heard it was a very popular fish back in the 60s and 70s. That's all I've heard.
Ever since she started watching
Now this reef that we're looking at is a fringing reef. Alright, we don't have any soft corals like sea sponges, sea fans, and sea anemones. Once again, we're in that subtropical environment. This type of reef is very surge tolerant. It creates our beautiful surf that we have here and around the Hawaiian Islands. This reef has a consistency of chalk. So if you take a brand new stick of chalk out, you can easily break it within just your fingertips. This coral is pretty much has the same consistency. Hard but very fragile at the same time. Now if you guys seen the animated movie Finding Nemo, I know we have a few kids on board. If you guys have ever seen that movie, there's a few characters of fish from that movie that we have out here in our waters. If you guys remember the yellow fish in the aquarium tank of the dentist's office, as Nemo gets dumped into the tank, he's all discombobulated. He's bouncing around, hitting the walls of the tank, and then he reverses into the treasure chest. The treasure chest opens up, the bubbles came out, and the yellow fish came out of nowhere yelling, "Bubbles, bubbles, bubbles." Now that yellow fish is the yellow tang. And you can find them scattered throughout the entire dive site, swimming very close to the reef. Solid yellow body and no other markings. This yellow tang in Hawaiian is called lau'ipala. Lau'ipala means swimming tea leaf. Around 40 to 50 years ago, there was so much of this yellow fish. If you were to walk upon a Kona coastline, look down upon the waves breaking on shore, you could see the waves breaking in a shimmer of gold, which back in the day gave us that nickname, the Gold Coast. But due to the aquarium trade and the black market, these fish were very heavily caught to be put into the aquariums around the world. Now, if you take a look, if you ever go to the mainland or any parts of the world and you see an aquarium tank and you found the yellow tang, 95% of the yellow tang that you would see is from Kona, the Big Island. About 8 million fish, just the yellow tang, was collected every single year for about 15 years. So it devastated the population of these yellow tang. So for the past 10 years now, these fish have been forbidden to collect. There's a Hawaii State Ban Law, a Marine Protection Act, that if you were caught collecting these fish, live specimens, to sell into the black market or to the aquarium trade, you could be fined almost $10,000 per fish you have, and then also get your vessel confiscated as well. So we see out there, port side, I'm looking at a kind of a dark fish. It's kind of swimming away from us, but it's about just a little below eye level. If you look very carefully at its tail, there's 2 orange barbs on each side of its tail. That is called an omamo le okole. Yeah, orange knife fish. Yeah. A rainbowed fish. That's probably the parrotfish. Yeah, parrotfish. Was it a kind of a bullet-shaped body?
No, it looks like a oval, but it's a disc kind of shape. And in the middle, it was white, but on this part, it's rainbow.
On the top part was rainbow? Oh, that's
and the
interesting.
bottom part, but in the middle is white.
In the middle is white? Yeah, question.
Do they have sea urchins down?
Sea urchins? Yeah, we do have sea urchins here. Yeah, we do. Oh, here, guys, look, starboard side. You see that fish right there, the diamond-shaped fish with 2 white undulating fins on top and bottom? If you look very carefully at its tail is half white and a little hint of green. Now, that is a pink-tail triggerfish. So how I explained earlier that colors change the deeper we go, down here, that pink tail looks a little bit green. If you look bright fluorescent pink. The Hawaiian name for that pink-tail triggerfish is the humuhumu le okole. That translates to a fish with a beautiful pink flower on its butt. A pretty well-named fish. It is a cousin related to the nukunuku of Pua'a. Yes, question.
I'm so massive fish.
So, big fish?
Yeah, it's this big.
Uh-huh. That's probably, was it like a dinner plate shape? Kind of bigger oval shape? No? What color was it?
I don't know which color it was, but it was super cold.
It was far away. Alright. What are you guys seeing back there? I hear some commotion. What do you guys see? Some sea urchins out there? Looks like a porcupine on the ocean floor. Yeah. Port side, we have a man-made object. Looks like a giant cheese grater. It is actually a DJ soundboard with all the little turning knobs and whatnot. It used to be used off of a booze cruise boat back in the day called the Captain Beans. And not too sure how the soundboard got down here, but we can just assume of one or two things. It was a really good party or a very bad DJ. Also off on the port side, you guys can see that different structure of reef out there. That is called plate coral. Looks like a bunch of stacked up dinner plates. Also port side, there's that pink-tailed triggerfish, that diamond-shaped one with the 2 white undulating fins on top and bottom. Now keep an eye out for moray eels. They like to hide themselves inside of the reef. They are ambush predators. About a foot of their body stick out of a piece of kind of a little crack or crevice, and about 3 to 4 or 5 feet of them is still hiding inside of that hole. Now the Hawaiian name for the eel is called puhi, P-U-H-I, puhi. Now the interesting thing about the eels is that they have 2 sets of jaws. If you ever saw the movie, there's a few remakes of those movies as well, called The Alien, that big alien creature with a long head. Now that alien has a second set of jaws that also come out from the back of their throat. Eels have the same thing. It's called a pharyngeal jaw. They have their main jaw that latches onto its prey, and unlike snakes have a muscular system that kind of pull their prey down into their stomachs. Eels don't have that. They have to have another set of jaws that come out the back of their throat, latch onto it, and that'll drag it down into its throat. Yeah. The directors of the movie Alien actually got the idea to place that second set of jaws from the eel. So you guys might start to see some debris. Our pilot just informed me that we're coming up to our first shipwreck. Looks like we're going to show it off on the port side first. So port side, get you guys cameras ready. In about a minute or two, you guys are going to start to see the wreck. Starboard side, don't worry. We're going to show you guys the wreck right after. We'll spin around. We're only showing the port side first because the port side laughs at more of my jokes than the other side. No, I'm just joking. The currents is going to dictate which side we're going to show the wreck on first. So we always want to be on the down current side, so we can always get blown away from the wreck instead of blown into it and then become one ourselves. So this wreck right here that we're looking at right now is a World War II Higgins-style landing craft. If you've ever seen the movie Saving Private Ryan, in the opening scenes of the movie, you'll see boats just like this, storming the beaches of Normandy. The bow door drops open and all the Marines and troops rush out. Now this vessel was never used in the war or in the movie, but it was purchased by a person that wanted to do a salvage work. And then he also wanted to do a shark adventure tour, lower and raise a plexiglass shark cage. You guys can see that spinning flying sea urchin right there. Yeah, it's kind of sinking down right now. So we're now at the bow section of this wreck. This wreck is 65 feet long, same length as our submarine. Now the reason why it's still down here, I hear some more commotion. Would you guys see anything cool out there? You see a big dark fish?
Yeah, it was you.
That's probably a juvenile giant trevally. Now the reason why this wreck is still down here is that how this boat sank, it was due to a big storm. The owner, captain, and crew thought that this vessel could last through the storm. They got everything prepped and ready. They left it on its anchor. They went home. Then the storm came in. The waves are so big that it broke the bow door open that you guys can see, and it filled it up like a giant bathtub with the next couple of waves. This vessel has been down here since 1996. Yeah, 1996. So we're spinning the submarine around right now. We're going to show the other side, starboard side, this wreck for you folks. Alright guys, get you guys cameras ready here up on the starboard side. We got some more surgeonfish coming up on the port side right up there. They have a beautiful tail, but they never really use their tails to swim. They only use their pectoral fins. So over the years, this coral that we have is going to start growing on top of this wreck, and then it will soon cover the wreck and it won't be recognizable anymore. It'll just be a big mountain of coral.
Look down, okay? Look down. Look down.
Now this wreck is a artificial reef. A lot of fish are calling this place home. Oh, there's that big fish right out there, that big black one. That's that juvenile giant trevally on the starboard side. It's gonna swim right over us, looks like.
Yo, what's up, man? What's up, man? What's up, man? What's up, my guy? What's up, my guy?
Now you may have noticed that there is a line going up to the surface attached to the back of the vessel. That is a mooring line. There's a buoy holding that line up, and it's almost to the top. It's actually about 15 feet beneath the surface. This is for diving boats to come here. Instead of dropping their anchor onto our fragile reef and drag that anchor, or even dropping that anchor onto the wreck, they'll just send a diver down to hook up the boat to the top of that line. Yeah, question, bud.
I saw a big fish, but they have a big mouth that go all up on the top of the big fish mouth.
Yeah.
The top of the-
That was that giant trevally. Yeah, that's that big giant trevally. But that was a baby one. Yeah, that was a baby one. Yeah, so that one was about maybe 30, 40 pounds. They're known to get almost up to 200 pounds, like 150 to 180 pounds. So if one of those larger adult giant trevallies were to swim right by us, they'll take up 3 of our viewports.
Wow.
Yeah, this is towards the outside. Good luck.
Alright, so our pilot has just informed me that we're going to go ahead and make our way offshore into deeper water. As we head offshore, try to keep an eye out for the parrotfish. This is an area that we kind of sometimes see the bullethead parrotfish. Oh, there's one out there off on the port side. He's kind of swimming right towards us. If he turns, you'll see how rainbow colored he is. Very close to the reef. That's a juvenile male parrotfish. So keep an eye out for a rainbow colored looking fish, alright guys? So the parrotfish, what they do, they actually eat the reef.
And they make it into sand.
They make it in, yeah. Yeah. So the parrotfish, what they do, they take dime-sized chunks out of the reef. They'll grind it up into a fine particulate matter with special plates in the back of their throat. As they're grinding it up, it separates the coral polyp, the algae, and that calcium carbonate. They digest everything besides that calcium carbonate, and as the calcium carbonate goes through its digestive system, it exits out as sand. Yeah, they poop out sand. They create about 1 to 2 pounds of it every single day, and about a ton of sand in their entire lives. So if you take a handful of sand, they make about 5 handfuls. Now the Hawaiian name for the parrotfish is called uhu palukaluka, or uhu for short. Uhu palukaluka translates to a fish with a very loose bowels. Walking on our sandy beaches, consider the source of what you're standing on. You're just walking on top of uhu pupu. Port side, you guys can see a large structure, a big anchor off on the starboard side. This is a storm anchoring system. You see that big, huge truck axle out there as well. Now, if you follow that line up to the surface, that was up on the port side, you'll find the boat that took you out to the submarine, the Malamakai. Yeah, question, bud.
I saw a starfish, but it had more eggs than a regular starfish, and it's spiky.
What color was it?
This right? What is
These are dark
Like-
reddish.
Like dark greenish, a little bit.
No, dark
Red?
reddish.
Okay. So that's probably a crown of thorns sea star. Yeah.
this? A sea star?
Yeah, crown of thorns sea star has about 18 to 21 legs.
And they eat cool.
What was that?
They eat cool.
They actually do eat coral. Yeah. So with the in Australia, they had a very big problem with the crown of thorns sea star. During El Nino year, the water temperatures rose quite a bit, about 95 to 98 degrees, very uncomfortable water temperatures.
Wow.
They had a big, huge crown of thorns starfish bloom. These crown of thorns starfish can grow quite quick. Every week it can grow about an inch in diameter. Every week, and they'll have a big wall of them will kind of congregate over a section of the coral, and it's like night and day. One side of them, one side of the reef is nice and healthy, and the other side that they've just come from is all bleach white. So how they dissolve the coral is that they'll actually expel their stomachs out of them, and they'll lay their stomach on top of the reef. Special enzymes on the lining of their stomach, it will slowly start to dissolve that coral.
And what happened when they take over the coral?
If they take over the coral, well, cut that starfish in half, 2 more is now growing. So the best way on how to get rid of them, divers have come down, collect them, thrown them onto dry land to let them slowly suffocate and die, dry out. Sometimes very bad though, but sometimes people will inject them with chemicals so they don't. Yeah, because if you were to chop them in half, thinking that you killed them, now you got 2 of them. Yeah.
What's that? They got one right there.
So now we're in deeper water, guys. We're at 97, 98, 99 feet. You guys can see the topography of the ocean floor has changed a whole lot. It's really flat. Not a lot of reef out here. The reef relies on the sunlight to grow, just like plants. The deeper we go, the less powerful the sunlight is down here. What you guys can see is this plant life. This is called halimeda. It's a type of grass that is able to grow, and it's a really peculiar plant because it is actually a freshwater plant. It only grows here in Hawaii. How this plant is able to survive is actually they will actually burrow their roots down deep, and they'll actually absorb the fresh water underneath the first like 3 to 4 feet of rock or sand. Alright, we're coming up to some debris once again. This is probably indicators that we're coming up to our next shipwreck. Now this is a sailboat that we're going to come up upon. We're going to show the port side first. We're going to show port side first once again, and then flip around and show the starboard side right after. Yeah, question.
I just saw a fish that come to a boat. Is that that?
Yeah, that's the yellowfin surgeon fish. Yeah.
With the bone in the tail.
Yeah, that's the one that has a sharp bone by its tail. Really sharp. So this sailboat was sailed down here from Alaska by a retired couple. The husband and wife got here, and the husband had to fly back home for a family emergency. The wife was left here to take care of the vessel until he returned, then they can continue sailing on to their next destination. As the husband was gone, the wife thought she had termites on the vessel and tried to take it upon herself to get rid of them.
Oh no.
So she started a fire trying to smoke them out.
On a boat?
Yeah. So she tried to smoke out the termites. She lost control of the little fire that she started, and then the fire made its way to their propane tank for their gas stove. It blew a big hole in the side of the vessel, and the lady was she was in the water already. She jumped overboard when she lost control of the fire. But she did swim over to that booze cruise boat back in the day that was done operating that night. So she swam over there, climbed on board. She watched her boat sink in a blaze of glory. The crew members found her the next morning wearing nothing but a crazy smile, naming this wreck the Crazy Lady or the Naked Lady. Now we're not too sure when this boat sank, but to give you guys a rough time frame is that when a surveying team came down here to collect some of her personal belongings and to assess any damage that this boat has caused the marine life, they did find her Blockbuster's rewards card. So in the late through that time. Yeah, so we don't know the exact year, but it's somewhere in between there. So this is an area where we also find the white-tip reef shark. If we were to find them, it would normally be down here at this wreck. So keep an eye out for them. It's normally the white-tip reef shark. So just keep an eye out for the white-tip reef shark if he's out there. Now, a lot of people think sharks are man-eaters, but that's not true. They watch too much Shark Week on Discovery Channel. But sharks are not man-eaters. They actually prefer women and children. They tend to be a lot sweeter, that's why. Now, the Hawaiian name for shark, the general name for shark in Hawaiian is called mano, M-A-N-O, mano. To be more specific to the white-tip reef shark, the Hawaiian name for that shark is called Mono lalakea. Starboard side, you can see that silverfish right there with the heart-shaped tail, big doe eyes? Now that is called a grand-eyed emperor. That grand-eyed emperor eats lobster, shrimp, and crab. Very expensive diet. Now since it eats hard-shelled creatures like lobsters and crabs, their teeth look just like ours, molars and incisors. Helps them crush those creatures. Alright, we're landing our submarine right on the ocean floor, guys. Really good bait fish if you're going to be a fisherman and use try and catch a bigger fish. What do you see?
The urchin.
Oh, the sea urchin?
What did you call it? A star urchin?
Yeah, the Hawaiian name, yep, Vana. Very easy name to remember. You don't wanna step on the Vana. Is that fish pooping?
Yeah.
Yeah, those fish have a high fiber diet. Yeah, question.
That's all fish like those kind of fish, the big ones, but have but the fin is much bigger on the bottom and the top.
They have what on the bigger? On
They
the
got
top?
goldfish, yeah, but
Those ones?
yeah, but I see one that the other fin on the top is.
Oh, the fin on the top is bigger
Yeah,
than on
and
the bottom.
is bigger too.
Oh, what color was he? Look just like that one that we just saw?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe a different species of surgeonfish. Probably an eye-striped surgeonfish, maybe. What's it
Long silverfish, he went in a hole, kind of flat body.
Kind of like a ribbon? Kind of like real thin? And
Yeah.
it's probably a flying-tailed tilefish. Real super skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of flying-tailed tilefish. We got some tires over here off on the port side. Starboard side, there's one tire over there. We got some horrible jokes for those tires. We used to call them Firestone flounders, Michelin mackerel, Pirelli piranha. Yeah, horrible jokes. We don't really say those jokes anymore because they lost their traction, you know? Or they fall a little flat now. I remember when I first started about 10 years ago, those jokes were really funny. Those were the good years, man. Alright guys, I don't know if you guys noticed earlier, but we were down at 104 feet just a little bit ago. Our pilot just informed me that we ran out of air. I mean time. Time. Yeah. Sorry, bad joke. We ran out of time, and we're gonna go ahead and listen to our pilot as we ask permission to surface, guys. Here we go.
Service, this is the Atlantis number 10 here. We just touched down 105 off the stern of the Lady. Current heading is 100. Requesting heading and clearance to service.
Cleared up to 40 feet, Major, heading at 040.
Cleared to 40 feet 04, air's on the way.
On the way.
So our pilot is going ahead and sending a big bubble of air up to the surface. This bubble of air is going to leave a footprint, a big marker up on the top of the water. Our surface crew is going to look for that, and they're going to drive out to that area, and they're going to make sure that there's no other vessels around us, because we don't want to surface underneath another vessel. Once the area is secured and we are cleared to surface, this will be the fastest part of our dive. We're going to be filling up our air ballast tanks back up with air, pushing out all the water, and we're going to rocket back up to the top. This will be the fastest part of the dive. We'll be passing smaller bubbles as we ascend too. It's pretty cool. It's kind of like rising up through a glass of champagne. Now I know guys we didn't see a shark on this tour, but that's okay. If you guys want to see a shark, 100% chance you'll find one of them on a Lee Drive on the road right down here, wearing a gray suit trying to sell you a timeshare.
Passenger 70, home below 40.
The area secure. We have visuals on your hole. You're clear to surface.
Roger, understand. Clear to surface. Isolating the vertical thrusters. Filling the air ballast. Switching back to VHF. We're coming up.
Welcome back.
Alright guys, we are cleared back to surface. Take a look at your clothing here real quick. Once we get back up to the top, for a brief moment it will turn back to normal. Especially all of the fluorescent colors. Right now they're glowing like a highlighter, but it'll turn back to normal with all the other colors.
Wow, that was fast, huh? God, that was quick.
At the surface. We're at the surface.
Alright guys, bubbles, bubbles, bubbles. Alright guys, so we made it back up to the top. We're going to go ahead and lower our ladders and open up our hatches. If you guys are directly underneath our hatch, there will be little drips of water coming down. So protect any electronic equipment you may have, like cameras, cell phones, and such. It won't be a whole lot of water, about 5 or 6 gallons or so. Nothing too crazy. In the meantime, guys, as we open up the hatch, how about a nice big round of applause for our pilot for taking us down.
Stop it. I appreciate that, ladies and gentlemen. You guys have fun down there today. Mahalo nui loa and aloha.
We're supposed to get up on this side, so if you're supposed to sit over here and want to take a picture of a submarine, feel free to stand up, take your photo. Just please make sure you're hanging on to something so you do not lose your balance. The crew members should be waving to you. If you wave to them, they have to wave back. See their contract? Nice photo opportunity there. The Atlantis number 10, built in 1989 in Everett, Washington. The cost to build her was about $3.5 million. And to rebuild her today will now cost about $7 million. On a count of 3, let's let them go with a big aloha. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Aloha! Alright. We're going to head down the hole. Mario. Back to work. that razor. Those are good for us. Yeah, pork is really good. It's the healthiest product in the world. You can eat a lot of it and not gain any weight. It's a lot of, packed with a lot of complex carbohydrates. And if you get a one more and eat the with a perfect tan, you don't ever have to worry about getting sunburn no more. Alright. If you guys look over here towards your left, you guys can see this large brown house towards the farm. Now that house used to belong to Paul Allen. He was the co-founder of Microsoft and Bill Gates, the owner of the Seattle Seahawks, the NFL team, and the Portland Trail Blazers as well. So he passed away about 5 to 6 years ago already. He left the home to the sister. Sister then sold it for about $20 to $25 million. And so that's their home right there. I don't know what it's used for now. To the right of it is a small grass shack. That's my house. $5 million. No, they're just joking. That's the luau grounds for King Kona Hotel. And yeah, if you guys haven't been to luau, try to get to one. It's really fun. If you don't like the food, the drinks are really good. Have a few drinks to go back to the food. That'll change your mind. We're gonna dock here alongside the pier here real soon. I'm gonna put the microphone down, but before I do, I want to say thank you guys so much for coming out with us today. I really hope you guys enjoyed the tour. I enjoyed your guys' company and you guys laughing at my horrible jokes. Mahalo nui loa. Have a great day, everyone, and as always, aloha.